All right, we are going to get started with our 15-minute stretching class today. We have 15 exercises. We will hold each of them for 30, 45 seconds, with a little bit of time of transition in between each of them. So we are going to start off standing up. This first one is called Wring Out the Towel. So your hands are going to be out on either side of you. One palm is faced forward. One palm is faced behind you. You're going to think of your arms as the towel. You're going to simultaneously twist them around as if you are wringing out the towel with your arms. So hold it for a couple seconds and then switch back. Hold a couple seconds. Switch back. Keep wringing out your towel, guys. This is a great one. I feel it like in my palms and right underneath the wrists. If you have been typing for a while, this might be feeling really good to wring those out. If you roll your shoulders back as you're doing it, you can feel it across your shoulder blades. It's a fun one. You can do it slow like how we're doing, or if you want to do it a little bit faster, whichever gives you a better stretch here. Couple more. 3, 2, and 1. Next one, you're going to take your legs wide. We're going to do windmills. So your legs are out wide, hands are out, reach down, touch your left hand to your right toe, come all the way back up. Right hand to left toe, all the way back up. You're going to try to keep your legs straight. If you can't reach down, you can give a little bend as you come down. But this movement is going to stretch out your hamstrings here as well, which always feels good when you have been sitting. You're going to stretch out your pecs, which feels good when you've been hunched over. You're going to stretch out your lower back as we lean forward, again, which feels good if we've been slightly hunched over, sitting, or standing. The straighter your legs are, or the further down you reach, the greater stretch you're going to feel in your hamstrings. We'll go one more on each side, and then we're going to advance it. So now, your legs are wide. What you're going to do is go down to a side lunge and touch. Come back up, side lunge, and touch. Side lunge, and touch. As you go into that side lunge, you're going to sit back into your side lunge slightly. You don't want your knees going way in front of you. You're going to sit back into it. This will give you a nice inner thigh stretch as well. So we'll wake up your body as well. If you're starting to hit a little slump, get your heart pumping. One more on each side. Last one. Very good. All right, next one. Some people call them hip openers, or you can think of them as hurdles. I always put my hands on my hips to give me a little bit more stability. Start with one side, bring your knee up, send it backward, then send it back forward. Then the other side. Send it backward, send it back forward. These open up your hips really well, which is not a movement we do very often. Gives us the full range of motion by going back and then by going forward again. You can also think of hurdles. So if you imagine there's a little hurdle right here, it's like we're stepping over it and then back in front. Over it and then back in front. This is one of my favorite warm-up moves to do before a workout as well. It really increases your range of motion and gets your body and your muscles warmed up for whatever you're about to do. One more on each side. All right, very good. Next, we're gonna go down to a kneeling hip flexor stretch. These muscles right here, it's always a good one to stretch out. So you're gonna step your leg in front, drop down, your bottom knee is touching. You're gonna be at about 90-degree angles, maybe a little bit more. And then you're gonna push your hips forward until you start to feel that stretch on your hip flexor, that your knee is down. The further you go, the greater stretch you're gonna feel. You just need to go until you start to feel that stretch right in there. Our hip flexors are almost always tight, especially if we're sitting a lot, because if you think of this leg, which is up, and the hip flexors right here, you're sitting in that contracted spot, so that never gets stretched out. So here we're exaggerating it, pulling out that hip flexor, which gets so tight from sitting all of the time. Hold a couple more seconds, and we will switch. You can stand all the way back up. If you want to get into the position that way, or just switch from the bottom, whatever works for you. Bottom knee down. Push those hips forward until you feel that stretch. You might notice that one side is tighter or looser than the other. Give it a nice stretch and we'll be doing good. Nice job. This is a great one to do during the day too as well. If you start noticing that your legs are feeling a little tight or a little achy, give them a good hip flexor stretch. This is a great one to do every day. There's a variety of different types of hip flexor stretches. We're trying to get one pretty much every time we stretch because it's one that needs it a lot. All right, push those hips back. So now you are just kind of like in a lunge position. Your bottom knee is still down. Now what we're gonna do is thoracic reaches. So this is gonna be stretching out our back. So you're gonna start, this one's a little tricky for me with this little baby here. So you're gonna start, one hand's gonna be down on the ground, one hand goes up in the air. You're gonna look up towards the ceiling, hold a couple seconds, then, this is the tricky one for me, stretch to the other side. One hand down, one hand up, hold for several seconds, and switch. You should be feeling that stretch along your back, those twists, wake up the back, increase your range of motion, move the things that have been sitting. This is also a great one to do before you do like an upper body workout. It wakes everything up, gets your muscles primed, or it's a great stretch to do throughout the day. Do a couple more here. Do one more on each side. And last one. All right, switch sides. If your other leg is gonna go up, your other knee is down. Same exact thing. Stretch up one way. Hold for several seconds and switch. You really just have to hold these as long as what feels good. You can do them quicker, you can do them slower. If you feel like the transition time takes the longest amount of time and you get stuck in transitions, then hold it a couple extra seconds instead of switching more often. You're still getting that stretch, still getting the benefit. One more on each side. And last one. Very good. All right, our last several exercises today are all going to be down on your mat or towel. This next one, you're going to be laying down. You're going to put one ankle on top of your knee. Clasp your hands behind that knee. Pull your leg or your knee in towards your body. You're going to feel that stretch on your leg that's bent with your ankle over, along your hamstring and your glute. Nice hip stretch. This is one of my favorite stretches. I always feel good and tight here. Couple more second hold. And switch sides. Cross your ankle over your other leg and pull in. You guys keep holding this. I'm going to show you some alternative options. If you don't like getting down on the ground for this, you can sit at your desk chair, cross an ankle over your knee, and you can lean forward. It stretches the exact same muscles, just a different position. So if you don't like getting on the ground, you can do this. If you want to get a stretch during the day without, getting down on the ground, have your coworkers wonder what you're doing, you can very easily do this in your chair as well. All right, very good. All right, 4 more. We're going to start with one leg up in the air. You're going to pull that leg towards your body. Try not to grab right behind your knee. You don't want to pull on your joint there. Pull slightly beneath your knee and pull that leg up toward you. Good hamstring stretch here. Nice and easy. All right, switch it other side, same thing. Even yourselves out. If this is a little bit of a struggle, if you plant that other foot, bend your knee, that'll make it a little bit more modified for you. Or if you're straightened all the way out, it's going to increase that stretch and advance the stretch for you, whatever feels comfortable and gives you a good stretch. All right, switch legs again. If your right leg is up in the air, put your arms out on either side of you to stabilize you a little bit. Twist over to pull your right leg over your left side of your body. You're going to feel the stretch along your back, into your glutes, into your hamstrings. You might feel a little bit in your neck or a little bit in your shoulder as you keep those arms braced down for stability and to increase the stretch. This is a nice full body stretch. And switch it over. Left leg up in the air. Send it over to the right side. Feel the stretch the whole way across it. With stretching, the most important thing is not about how far or how deep you can go, but rather being in tune with how your body feels and how your muscle feels. It's not a competition with stretching. Stretching and flexibility is just about taking where you're at with your stretching and taking it a tiny step forward to increase your own personal stretching and flexibility, which then increases your performance and increases how you just feel and move on a given day. So don't think about, oh, can I stretch further or go farther? Listen to how your muscles feel. All right, we have one more we're going to do on each side. Right, or whichever side up, bring your knee up towards your chest. You can either hold it right here, or if you want to increase it, you can take it out to the side. So your right knee is kind of out towards your right hip. And we can hold it out this way, or you can keep it curled up in line with your torso. Whichever one feels like it needs a little bit more of the stretch, go ahead and give it that one. Again, your left leg can be laying completely flat on the ground, or if you want to modify it a little bit, you can definitely bend that knee and plant your left foot. All right, let's switch to the other side. Last one for today. Line up pull your left knee in towards your chest or send it out to the side. Couple more second hold. 3, 2, and 1. All right, very good, everyone. You've done 15 minutes of stretching. Hope you feel nice and loose, energized to continue your work day. Thanks for coming, and as always, send me any feedback you have, and I'm glad you're here.